Hey everybody, it's Tiffaney Malott and welcome to my very first webinar. I am so excited that you have taken some time out of your schedule to talk and share with me. And today we're going to talk about a very important topic to all of us in this profession, and that is being attractive. So today I'm going to spend some time talking about how to be attractive so others will be attracted to us and to what we're doing. Jim Rohn says you must become the very thing you want to attract. And I'm a firm believer that we should not recruit or pitch or sell, we should attract. Now, to make this even more real, so you understand why I'm so passionate about being attractive, why I'm so serious about helping others, and why I live this every single day, I'm going to take you back to the beginning of my journey. 15 and a half years ago, when I started relationship marketing, I worked in a factory for the J.M. Smucker Company. I made jam or jelly, depending on what you want to call it, 6 nights a week, 10 hours a night on third shift. And I was excited about being a business owner. I believed in my opportunity, and I just knew that things could be great and I could help shape the world. I wasn't the most attractive. And so 15 and a half years ago, when I got started, a lot of people around me were affected by my being unattractive. So you can get an idea of exactly how unattractive I was and who I was at the beginning of my journey. I've invited the first person I told about my business 15 and a half years ago. The very first person I could say prospected, the very first person I shared this with, and the person I knew would be my first recruit, I've invited her to this first webinar so you can hear my personal journey from 15 and a half years ago. And that individual is on the line with us, and it is my sister, Talitha Beverly. Talitha, are you on the line? Hey, Talitha. Can you unmute yourself? I can't hear you.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hey, Talitha. Hey. Talitha, thanks for being on. You guys, this is my sister, Talitha. We have gone way back, of course, since birth. Since birth. But I just really wanted you to understand that being unattractive is something we all deal with. A lot of people see Tiffaney Malott today, 15 and a half years later, but it was a very different Tiffaney when she first got started in this profession. And so I invited my sister, the first person on my list, the first person I shared my opportunity with, and the first person I thought would be my recruit to this webinar, so you could hear firsthand what it is we're doing to the people we love when we don't do it right. So Talitha, once again, thanks for being on, and I would like for you to just kind of, if you will, start off how I was before network marketing and what happened, how I was after when I was introducing network marketing to you. If you could share that with us, welcome and thanks for being on.
Yeah, sure. Happy holidays to everyone. I wanted to first start off by saying we were both living in Memphis and we were going through some personal hard times with the loss of our father. And I think both of us were searching for something different. And I remember us going to the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and we split up at a party, and you came back saying something about multi-level marketing. So of course I didn't know what that was, and just the entire time you just kept talking about owning your own business, and you know, you are always very influential, and you ended up getting very serious about it. When we returned, you were very instrumental in making sure that your life was going to change. And you talked about it all the time, and then you introduced it to me. I was working in a factory too. I was working at Coors in Memphis on, I was on second shift, I wasn't on midnight shift. But you basically had decided that this is something that you wanted to do, and you were very passionate about it. The way you introduced it was forceful. because you knew that this was going to change your life, but only you could see that. I personally could not see that. It was something that I didn't necessarily want to be. I didn't want to be a multi-level marketer. You told me this was the right thing to do. This is how I needed to move forward. And it was the greatest thing next to sliced bread. And I just, I always looked up to you. I always admired you. I think what you could have done differently is let me see that it worked. Let me see kind of how you were able to navigate your way through this instead of forcing it down my throat. I supported you. I got involved. But the way you involved me was, who are your friends? You need to get everybody involved. And a lot of my friends didn't see it because I didn't see it. I was just supporting it because you wanted me to support it. So,
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that even though my intentions were good, I really didn't do it very well. And since we're being very, very candid here, tell them how when I was forceful and I was saying you should do this, tell them exactly how it affected our relationship. Who we were before I joined network marketing and what happened after. Without all the, everything. But tell them exactly how you felt about me as your sister and your friend once I joined network marketing because of how I was doing it.
So it was a point. It was a point in our lives where we needed one another because my father just passed away, and we were very close. Whatever we did together was comforting and fun, and best friends. And this opportunity split us up. You were so clear on what you wanted to do. You ostracized yourself. I remember you speaking a lot about personal development and how important it was to read books, and you basically ate these books and
Yeah.
digested these books. And the change that I saw was that you corrected a lot of people, but you didn't really use some of those pointers to correct yourself. I think you learned a lot about what to look for, but you didn't kind of internalize it to do some of the changing yourself. So it was hard to see because we really drifted apart because it just turned into a lot of arguments.
It's very true, and it's one of my greatest regrets in doing network marketing. Not that I regret doing it, but the way I did it. It was difficult, and so today, after 15 years, I think I've changed. It took me a few years. How would you say you feel about me doing network marketing today, and how I do things differently now?
Well, it appears to me that you enjoy it. I think before you were trying to make it successful instead of using it as a vehicle to learn more about yourself and grow as a professional. You were going to work it, and you just knew that you wanted to be. You kept on using the term at the top of the company, and one of the turnoffs to me was it was always you always wanted to talk about money, how much money you made, even to the point where you wanted to compare your salary with others, and that wasn't really attractive. So now I think that you have a passion for it, you enjoy it, you smile a lot, and I think you want people to see some of the freedoms that it's provided you and your family.
Well, you have said so much. We could really stop here because it's true. It's so very true because I was so determined to make it, but I was insecure about how I was getting there. A lot of the coaching I was getting, it was about money. So I felt like if I proved that I made money, it would make people take me more seriously. And I didn't make it fun, and I almost sacrificed my most important relationship with my sister, my best friend, because of it. And it was a lot of years before I got smart and do it. So Talitha, before I let you go, because I know you're running your own company now, and you've taken some time out of your schedule to support me and mine, and I really, really appreciate that. Let me ask you this. I'm doing this so other people don't make the mistake that I made. Look back and think it was the other person, because see, I looked at you as you just weren't being supportive. You just didn't understand, and we were best friends. You should just do this with me. But really, that was your choice to make and not mine. Wouldn't you agree? And that's what made it difficult. So the reason why I wanted to do this webinar is so other people, hopefully, don't make that mistake. They get a chance to learn from me and from us. But I also wanted to talk to people before they go to Thanksgiving dinner, before they head home for the holidays and get around all these people they love and make the mistake of being that person that I was 15 years ago. So I'm going to ask you to talk to the people, because we've got a lot of people on this webinar watching you right now, from a person that loved her sister and had entrepreneurial spirit in her too. That's why you own your own company. It's just not the same company I own and the same type of business I do. And from a person who loved her sister, had an entrepreneurial spirit, but just didn't want to do what I was doing. Give them a pointer, one thing that you wish they would remember when they go out and be with their friends and family, but also want to talk about their business. What would you suggest that they do or don't do? Just give them some tips.
Sure. I know that in any entrepreneurial ordeal, or any type of business you want to go into and be your own boss, you have to be a leader. And I remember Daddy always telling us, if you have to continue to say that you are the leader and the manager, then that means you really aren't the leader and manager, because people have to see that in you. They have to clearly notice that there's something that makes me want to follow, or makes me want to have the risk to step out and do something different, because they see that in you or on you. You're wearing it. You're not necessarily forcing it or stating it or restating it or trying to re-verify by your checks or your busyness in terms of always being on the phone.
Right.
That you're running a company. So what I would say is, the things that you're proud of, the things that you're passionate about, then people should see that in the way you speak about or having the conversation with the other person. Like asking them how they're doing. Those self-development things that you're talking about. It doesn't have to be about multi-level marketing. It could be about them, showing interest in them. And, even though we aren't doing the same business, I have, believe it or not, watched your webinars and watched the videos that you've posted on Facebook, and I'm able to use your tips in my business from a selling point. Really, because I care about what I do. I care about the people that I support and touch. I'm in human resources. So I'm dealing with humans. In multi-level marketing, you're dealing with humans, and they're personal people, and especially the ones that you love. So when you sit across from them on Thanksgiving, ask about them, show interest in them, care about them. And then guess what they're going to do? They're going to ask you, so what are you doing? And then at that point, then you share what you're doing. And I think less is more, because people are going to ask what they want to know. And when they see the difference in you, when they see your joy and your happiness with yourself, and then they'll say, wow, did you get a new purse? Or did you see some shoes? They'll start
Right.
seeing those other things later.
That's right.
And then that's when they'll start, maybe wanting to talk more about what what glimmer you've given them, what peek under the tent you've given them, not the whole platter forced down their throat.
Well, Talitha, now y'all see why I have tried to recruit this girl to be in my business for 15 years. I mean, I can't say anything more. Exactly what I have in my notes to share on this webinar. You said it so well, and I'm so happy that people get a chance to hear it from someone who is, I mean, a college graduate, very good grades in school, always, president's list, entrepreneur, great manager, has her own company, and like she said, is dealing with humans, and she remembers to be human. Talitha, I wish we could be together for this Thanksgiving, but we will be together very soon for spring break, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day, summer. I'm excited. 2016 is going to be great for all of us as a family, and I just wish I could give you a big hug. You just made this webinar for me. Thank you so much. I'm going to add a little bit more, but you did it, and I thank you so much for your time today.
Sure, love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, guys, you heard it, and man, oh, she just really did it, and this is what I want you guys to hear. Number one, I want you to understand that I was horrible 15 and a half years ago. And my sister, Talitha, and I were best friends. We're only 2 years apart. And we did everything together. We were best friends, and we dealt with our grief of losing our father. We dealt with it differently. And mine was, I was going to do something different now. And I became very passionate about my business, which wasn't wrong. 15 and a half years ago, the company I started, I was very passionate. That wasn't wrong. I was enthusiastic. That wasn't wrong. But as you heard her say, the way I talked about money all the time, the way I told her this is what she needed to do, this is what she had to do, and I just expected her to do it because she was my sister, that was wrong. And it was me. I ruined our relationship. I was the reason why we did a wedge. It wasn't her. It wasn't her not supporting me. She was not a naysayer or a dream stealer. She was my sister that didn't see it the same way. She just didn't want to do it right then. And the thing is, I messed that up. And it wasn't network marketing that messed it up. And it wasn't my company that messed it up. It was me. I did it wrong. I was unattractive. And so what I'm going to do is I put down some notes, and I'm going to go over some things that I want us to highlight and remember, not just now, but forever. Forever. We talk about, my incredible mentor, Eric Worre, has literally changed the face of this great profession by demanding and encouraging and teaching us to be more professional, to raise the level and the standard of this profession. And, because I've had a chance to be mentored by him for 14 years, unfortunately, he wasn't my mentor when I first got started in network marketing. I met him about a year later, but because he's been my mentor in near and far for so long, I've gotten a chance to watch what attractive really looks like. And he does it right. And that's why he is the one that's helping us raise the level of this profession. But I want to share with you guys, from watching him, from learning from him and other great people who are attractive in their business, I'm going to share with you what being attractive looks like. And I don't think it is according to Tiffaney Malott. I think it's according to Talitha Beverly, my sister, our sisters, our brothers, our parents, our grandparents, our cousins, coworkers, nieces, nephews, and friends. This is what they want, and we're going to talk about what they don't want. So I've written down some notes. If you got pen and paper, jot this stuff down, because this is coming up on the holiday season. Now, I'm sure people will watch this many, many times into 2016 and beyond. Excuse me, guys. and I know they will, but I specifically am going to talk about this holiday season because I really wanted to do this webinar before Thanksgiving because I cannot tell you, I've been on both ends. I've had my Thanksgiving dinner affected by network marketing done in an unattractive manner, and I have been the one ruining everybody else's Thanksgiving dinner talking about network marketing in an unattractive manner. And right now, Thanksgiving 2015, that stops. That ends right now. We're not doing that. We're not ruining Christmas. We're not ruining New Year's. We're not ruining any event forever because we are unattractive. So let's talk about what we need to do. What we need to do. First of all, mentally, we must have our heads right when it comes to being attractive. All right. And the first thing I want you to remember is you must focus on the relationship instead of the situation. Now, this is something that I've read I think John C. Maxwell was the first person I read, but it was, you must focus on the relationship instead of the situation. And that basically means that what's more important, getting them in the business or getting a sale or the relationship? And as you can see, 15 and a half years later, I was so focused on the situation. I was so focused on getting her in and getting a recruit that I forgot the relationship. And because I forgot the relationship and how important that was to me, I lost years of our relationship, very strained contact between me and my best friend at one time. So it's important that you focus on the relationship instead of the situation. What is more important? What's more important is your relationship. Okay, that's more important. So you want to focus on that. The next thing we want to get in our heads is that when you're going to Thanksgiving dinner or after you're going to hang out with family, friends for holidays or anything else, you're there to celebrate and give thanks, not to recruit or sell or pitch. You are there, let's talk about Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving, you are there to celebrate and to give thanks for the good things in your life, for the people in your life. And you're there to celebrate with these people and appreciate what you've got. Thanksgiving is a day of gratefulness. It's not a day of selling. It's not a day of, ooh, 40 people in this house. Let me get my cards and get me some recruits and some sales. That's not what it's about. Look, and I do very well in my business now, but I did much better when I flipped the switch and realized what's more important is the relationship. And that's what we've got to focus on. The next thing I want you to have mentally in your head is don't get defensive. Look, even if your business comes up, even if someone has something to say, family members can be a little rough. I got made fun of a lot because I was so unattractive and I would get angry and defensive. Don't get defensive. It's your choice. If you do it in an attractive manner, they won't have anything to say. And if they don't have anything good to say, just be like, hey, it's just like a hairstyle. Someone says, I don't like that hairstyle. You'd be like, well, I bought it. It's mine. So what? That's the way you need to look at it. If someone tries to say something about your company, someone tries to say something about your business, it's just like, hey, it's mine. It's me. So you do you, I do me. But don't get defensive. And then lastly, to mentally prepare us, you are in your company for the long haul. I had a great mentor who said, be here a year from now. And that's the way you need to be. You're not going to be here for the next 22 days. So you got to gobble up every possible lead you can. You are going to be here for the long haul. Because you're going to be here for the long haul, guess what? You're going to focus on the relationship instead of the situation. Because their situation is going to change. And because you kept the relationship intact, you'll be there when it does. So mentally, okay, we've got to get our heads right. Now, the next thing I want us to do is verbally make sure we are attractive. Okay, verbally, we're going to make sure we're attractive. You know what the first thing to do when we are going to be more attractive verbally is we're not going to talk. We're going to listen. You heard my sister say, well, listen more. Just listen. And this is a huge mistake I made. I took over every conversation. Every conversation, they could have been talking about anything. They could have been talking about dessert, and I turned it into why people needed my service. They could have been talking about current events in the news, and I would always turn it and take over the conversation and turn it into why they needed my service. And it was overkill. It was so sickening what I was doing. And that's why we're going to be the best listeners. You know, I read a lot on how to be a great conversationalist. And you know, the number one skill great conversationalists have, they are the best listeners. It's amazing that the best conversationalists speak less than everyone else. They listen more and they listen the right way. So verbally, to be more attractive when we're around, not just people at Thanksgiving, but we are going to talk about Thanksgiving, but all the time is we are going to listen. We are going to listen. And I'm going to tell you, I love to talk. Y'all know that. Y'all see these videos. I have no problem with being the one everybody is watching and everyone is listening to. But I've learned that makes me an unattractive person. When I'm always the one who's got to be the center of attention and I'm always got to be the one that's doing all the talking, people are tired of you. They're sick of it. They're bored and they talk about you behind your back and they don't want to partner with you. So you're going to listen more. And it's like Benjamin Disraeli in How to Win Friends and Influence People. Okay, and How to Win Friends and Influence People. They talked about Benjamin Disraeli, who was a prime minister in the 19th century, and I believe 19th century. And people thought he was a great conversationalist. And you know why? Because he listened the most. And there's a quote in that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, where there's a lady who said she met another gentleman who was a top statesman at the time. And she said he was a fascinating man. He was just absolutely fascinating. But then she had dinner on another occasion with Benjamin Disraeli. And then she said Benjamin Disraeli made her realize how fascinating she was. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to listen so we can pull the best out of other people instead of trying to prove to people that we are the best. So this is important. You heard it from my sister. You're hearing it from me. Listen. So verbally, to be more attractive, we're going to talk less and listen more. And because I like to talk a lot, let me tell you what I've started doing. I know I love to jump in. If someone says something that's funny or I have a thought on it, I'll be the first one to talk. And you know what I've started doing now? I actually sit back and I actually do this. I actually put my finger over my mouth and I listen. I'll be like this. And I'm intentionally doing that to myself to remind myself, don't you open your mouth. Don't you say nothing. This is me, what I'm doing. This finger has made me a better conversationalist. That's what I'm doing. Because I am now keeping my mouth from flying open and affecting my relationship in a bad way. So I listen. And that's what we're going to do this holiday season. We're going to be the best listeners. We're going to be the best conversationalists. People are going to say, man, I had so much fun with you. You were awesome. And you're going to be like, I didn't even do anything. I didn't even hardly talk. That's why they enjoy us, because they want to do all the talking and they're going to love us because we're going to let them. So this is you finger. Back to the finger. And then when it's your time and they're finished, then you're going to talk. So to be more attractive verbally, we're going to listen. The second thing we're going to do is we're not going to talk about ourselves and our company all the time. You heard my sister. I monopolized the entire conversation, every conversation, talking about me and what I got and what I did and what I achieved in my company. You heard her say it. I was always talking about being at the top of the company. I was talking about how much money I was making. You know why? Because I was insecure. I was insecure in myself. I was insecure in what I was supposed to be doing. I was insecure and I thought if I proved how much success I was having, they would take me seriously. Instead, I was a turnoff. So you're not going to talk about yourself. In fact, you're going to do the next point. You're going to ask questions and you're going to ask the right questions. You're going to ask questions about them. Now, in my video, if you haven't seen it, it's on my Facebook wall, and it will be on my website soon, which will be tiffaneymalott.com, the coffee conversation. And in the coffee conversation, we ask them questions. We ask them questions about them, and they will reciprocate. Then they will ask us questions about us. But we will listen. We will not talk about ourselves and our company. We will ask questions so we can hear about them. Then they will be more attracted to us and ask us questions about ourselves. Another thing is, again, don't get defensive. All right. If they don't agree, don't get defensive. Don't get upset. It's not a big deal. Put the relationship above the situation. But then the next thing we're going to do also is we are not going to debate or argue. So this was something, look, I do not take down from a fight. All right. Somebody got something to say, I'm right there with them. And because of that, I thought I was being bold and passionate and a defender of my company. What I was being was a fool. Because if you have to debate and argue to prove that you're great, well, that just shows everyone you're not as great as you think you are. So if anything comes up, I don't care if it's about a football team. I don't care if it's your company. I don't care if it's about someone else's company. I don't care what the situation is. Do not get into a debate or an argument about anything. What you're going to learn to do is you're going to be like, that means I give, all right, you got it, and you're going to move on, and then you're not going to get into it. Because I don't know about y'all, holidays at my house and with some of my family members, excuse me, somebody always gets mad about something. And it's because someone won't take down. It's because there's a difference in opinion and they just keep going back and back and back. And that's okay for your crazy uncle that sits in the corner and drinks too much while the football game is over. That's okay for somebody else. That is not okay for us in our profession. You are not going to get sucked in. You're going to remember my words and you're going to be like, all right. And when they're talking, you're going to be like, that's what you're going to do, because we must be mentally attractive and we must be verbally attractive. And we do that by listening, not arguing, not monopolizing the conversation, and not being defensive and not talking about ourselves and our company all the time. And, my sister said something really great. She said, listen to them. Ask them how they're doing. Be interested in what they're doing. And it's interesting. She said, after you do that, then they start noticing all the other things about you. So if you walk in and you got a new purse, or you pulled up in a new car, or you got new shoes on, some bad shoes that you finally got and you strutting up in the dinner with it on. If you do that, then, but if you walk in flashing watches and, oh, did you guys see my new car? Then everyone works to not notice you. But if you walk in and you are mentally attractive, and you are verbally attractive to where you're not flashing, you're not showing, you're not talking about you at all, you're interested in other people, you heard it from her, that's when they take notice of all the things you've got. And she said it. When I stopped trying to show my checks and tell everyone how much I earned, and I just was interested in my family, that's when they noticed, oh, she got a new purse. Oh, she got a new car. Oh, they went here. That's when they take notice of you. But when you're trying to force people to notice you, that's when they run the other way. All right, so we're going to be mentally attractive. We're going to be verbally attractive. Next, we're going to be physically attractive. Now, this is what a lot of people think being attractive is. It's physically being attractive. If their hair is right, if their makeup is right, if their clothes are right. That is important, but it is not all of it. It's not all of it. In fact, I can tell you, I have had on some casual sports clothes, like sweats and, workout clothes, and got some of my greatest relationships and prospects. And it wasn't because of what I had on. It wasn't because I had on my watches or my rings or pulled up in my car. They knew nothing about me. It was me that was attractive. And so that is important. Now, for physically attractive, you are going to make sure you look good. You're going to make sure your hair is right. You're going to make sure that your skin is right, your makeup is right, that you're groomed well. You're going to make sure that you're dressed nicely. Not a three-piece suit to the dinner, but you're going to look casually, awesomely, neat, clean, and good in your best. You don't go buy something new. You just be you, but you are wearing it better than ever. Now, this is important because first impressions do matter. And so if you walk in and you physically look amazing, your hair looks good, your skin is right, your nails are taken care of, your shoes are shiny and clean, or whatever the case, you look the part, then they're checking you out. They're always checking you out. Then if you're mentally attractive because you got the right mindset, and you're verbally attractive because you're not talking about, oh, you see this watch? Just got this. Yep, $3,000. When you're not doing that, then they are watching you even closely because you aren't talking about you and you're focusing on them. Then they notice how physically attractive you really are. All right, so we're going to be physically attractive. Now, to be physically attractive, we're going to look at our dress and we're going to listen. We're still listening. Remember? All right? We're listening. We're going to dress the part. But at Thanksgiving dinner, something I notice, and at family dinners, of functions, there's always stuff that needs to be done, right? Someone needs to help set the table. Maybe someone needs to baste the turkey or wash some dishes, or get someone a drink or another piece of pie. Whatever that is, you're going to do it. So to be physically attractive this holiday season, we are going to serve. We are going to serve others, and we are going to pay attention to other people's needs. Now, this is really, really important. We're going to get up and be willing to get someone else a drink. When our glass is empty and we look up and we say, hey, Uncle Joe, you need another drink? He's going to go, yeah, I sure do. That's who we're going to be. When you walk in and dishes need to be done or table needs to be cleared off and the host or hostess starts working, you're going to work. And they're going to say, oh, no, it's okay. You say, please. You did such a wonderful job. I'm so thankful that you invited me, or glad we're here. Please allow me to help. We are going to serve. Now, let me tell you something. I have heard people talk about being servant leaders for a long time. I have heard people talk about you've got to serve your team and this, and this. But I've never seen it done the way I've seen it done over the past 4 years. My CEO, his name is Isaac Ben Shabbat, and his family, the Ben Shabbat family, these are the best servant leaders I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, walk the walk. They do not sit down and eat until everyone is served. They take it so personally that you feel so welcome and so loved in their home. They feel their responsibility is to share with everyone they meet the love that God has given them. It's their responsibility to share that love with everyone else. And they do it by serving. They do it by making sure you're happy and fed. They do it by making sure if you need another glass of something to drink, they are pouring it for you. They do it by saying, hey, let me help cook. Let me help set the table. Let me help clean. These people have a servant heart. And because of that, I have learned how to do it. And I understand why they work so hard to serve, because there is no other joy like giving. There's no other joy like giving of yourself and your energy and serving and doing things to help someone else, even if it's just clearing off the table. And so we are going to serve this holiday season. And we are not going to be slaves and maids and porters, because I understand a lot of people think serving makes you low. But if you believe like I believe, you know that if you want the highest shall be the least. The one who wants to be the greatest leader has to serve the most. And so it's going to be important that you understand this is how you're attractive. Because if you walk in and you look good and you're listening and you're having some success, or you're about to, or you want to, and they notice that your heart is so big that you're taking time to serve other people, let me tell you something. Their mind it'll register in their mind. Even if they don't say anything, it also registers in their heart. So you've got to serve. We must serve. And I'm gonna tell you the mistake I made. The mistake I made, why I was so unattractive, is I wasn't serving. I was walking in pontificating. I was walking in presenting. I was walking in flashing and talking and boasting and bragging, and out of my insecurity being the biggest jerk in the whole house. But what if I just walked in and I just helped out? What if I just walked in being confident that I was doing what I needed to do, that I was passionate and enthusiastic and believed in what I had? And what if I just walked in and was just an amazing person? Everybody wants to know more about the amazing person in the room, and that's who we're going to be. So to be physically attractive, we're going to listen. We're going to dress and look nice. Like I said, you don't have to wear no dress, three-piece suit, or high heels. Look, I always really like to wear high heels. So some nice heels to go with what you're wearing casually, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Look good. And then we're going to serve. And then we're going to smile. We're going to smile, and we're going to make eye contact. One thing that I notice about people in sales, period, but I see it with people in sales and in our profession, is we are so serious about making the sale, we forget to connect with the people. And I've done this so many times that when people are talking to me, I'm not listening attentively. I'm not looking them in the eye. and smiling and nodding because I'm thinking about the next thing that I'm going to say. Or I'm so busy and I'm such a big business person, international business person, that while they're talking to me, I'm texting and I'm taking care of business. Look, come on. First of all, I don't care what nobody says. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes it. Even if people accept it, even if they deal with it, nobody likes it. To be the most attractive person in the room, put your phone down. Look them in the eye, lean in, smile, and listen. And I'm gonna tell you something, you will have the most fun at your Thanksgiving dinner or any holiday that you're part of, holiday celebration that you're part of. You will have the most fun, and then you will have the most rewarding relationships, which will lead you to more business than you've ever had. So that's it, mentally, verbally, and physically attractive. Let me go over a few more quick points because I've got my notes on my phone. That's the only reason I'm looking at my phone, because y'all know I am tuned into you. All right, so let's go over some things that I don't want people to do. All right, so don't pass out cards, your business cards, or your tools at Thanksgiving. I already know some of y'all is getting ready. That's why I had to do this today, because some of y'all gonna leave early. You're leaving tonight or tomorrow. Some of you may already be with the people you're gonna celebrate with. And you've already packed all your stuff up. You already got your DVDs. You already have all 100 business cards. You already have your applications and your stuff. And I believe in being prepared for business, but that's not the way to do it. Let me tell you something. I never have a business card. Never have a business card. Because when I'm in these situations, let me tell you, when I'm in these situations, I can have 100 of them in my purse, literally. But when they say, I'll start the conversation, do my, be interested in them so they're interested in me. And then I'm asking so many questions about them, then they finally say, well, what about you? What do you do? What about you? And then I'll just talk about it, and then I'll kind of push it off, and then they'll come back, and then they'll say, do you have a card? And I'm like, I was just coming for Thanksgiving dinner. I wasn't really thinking about business, but then I'll always go, but I could put you in my phone. Put you in my phone. That's what I always do. I'll have 100 cards in my purse, y'all, but I will not pull out. I will not be like, oh yeah, I got a card. And I definitely don't walk into a place, anybody's home, anywhere, and just be passing out cards. That doesn't do anything but get them pitched into the garbage can. All right. So it's a holiday. All right. Do not go passing out your tools. If you do this right and their interest is piqued and they're asking you questions, then if you want, you can give them a card because they asked for it. You could give them a tool and say, oh, I can give you this. But I would just say, look, it was holidays. It came for Thanksgiving dinner, came to the party. I just really wanted to hang out, but we can connect after. I'll put you on my phone. All right. Here's the next thing. You're going to connect, don't prospect. Connect, don't prospect. So prospecting is like, I'm just trying to get a lead. I'm just trying to get a number. I'm just trying to get somebody that I can call and set up an appointment. If you connect, then you're building a relationship. When you're prospecting, you're just looking for a sale. Now, look, let me just tell you this. I know some of you are like, I need sales. I got to make my money. I got to rank advance. I've got to requalify. Yes, but you're not going to do it if you don't build relationships. And when I'm telling you something, before I understood this, when I was building and I was unattractive the way my sister was talking about, I was always struggling. I was always on the grind. I was always trying to requalify, always trying to get to the next level. When I flipped this switch, it just happened. I still was working. I was still doing the same activity, but the different mindset and slight tweaks in the way I did things. I didn't have to force and push. And like my sister said, be always trying to get to the top. I didn't coast. But I guess you could say it was more fun and more pleasant, and I was able to attract more people who went along with me. And so you're gonna connect, you're not gonna prospect, all right? And when you connect, you say, oh, we should stay in touch. We should get together, have a coffee after the holidays. Why don't you give me your number so we can set something up? People love to do that. Connect, and then you can do the coffee conversation that I've done a video on my Facebook page, so then you could lead them to getting interested in your opportunity. All right. Something else you're not going to do. You're not going to see them as prospects. You're going to see them as people and as relationships, because that is what they are. All right. They're people. They're your relationships. So you're not going to walk in and leave Thanksgiving dinner and say, oh, I got 22 numbers. All right. Look, if you get 22 numbers, awesome. As long as you do it right. As long as you connect it, As long as you sat and you talked and you listened and you smiled and you made eye contact with 22 people individually and you made them feel like they were the most important person in the room and they all said, we should get together. Yeah, let's connect. Then that's the right way to do it. But if you walk in there and just with a pen and paper are trying to collect cards and showing everybody that, if I find out, I'm going to find you, because we have to raise the level of profession, as Eric Worre is teaching all of us. And the way you do it is you become an attractive person by being attractive, and let them become attracted to you. Don't walk into Thanksgiving dinner treating it like it's a speed prospecting thing, and you got to rush and get as many people's names and numbers as possible. Don't y'all embarrass me. All right. Now, the next thing, ask the right questions. I've gone over that. Contact, connect. Hey, I want you to care about them before you care about yourself. Now, we talked about serving. Do that, and asking someone if they need something. Be aware. Watch other people. If someone's having a hard time, need another plate, or they need a napkin, or, you know, I'll tell you, I've had a lot of relationships started, great relationships started that ended up in giving me business by just seeing a person's need. You know, and this wasn't at a Thanksgiving dinner, but there was a lady who had 2 small children with her and was trying to juggle the kids, get her bag, get the groceries, do all this stuff. And I saw that, and I just stepped over and grabbed a couple of the bags for her and stood in front of one of her kids before he ran out into the street so she could put her stuff in the trunk. And she goes, oh, thank you so much. I said, well, I have a 2-year-old. I have one daughter that's like 5, so I understand what you're going through. And then she says, yeah, it could get kind of crazy. We started talking. We became friends. Next thing you know, she's bought products from me. She's interested in the business just from being a nice person. So we're going to care about people more than we care about ourselves. We're going to put what we need in the back of our minds and put what they need in the forefront. So I don't care if I said it earlier. I don't care if a family member needs, if their glass is empty, you be the first one to get up and pour them another drink. I don't care if someone needs help bringing something in, or help taking their suitcase to their room, or need help loading the dishwasher or drying some dishes. Be that person. Care about other people's needs. And if you care about the little things, I'm going to tell you, God will bless you with big things. All right. And focus on the relationship. See them as people. Be patient. Listen more than you talk. Know what you're doing. All right. Know what you're doing before you talk to them, before you talk to anyone. And a lot of us are sitting up there trying to be so professional and have our sales pitches down that we don't realize that's not what you need to do. So what you're going to be doing. So I want you to know what you're doing when you go into these holiday situations. And what you're doing is just connecting. You're prospecting. You're not going to do a presentation. You're not. I know some of you are sitting up there going, well, my auntie said that I can do a presentation at Thanksgiving dinner. And I'm going to tell you, it's because your auntie does not want to upset you. All right. And she doesn't want to tell you, I'd rather you not. She loves you. She's focusing on her relationship with you versus the situation. Do not, I'm going to tell you, do not do any business at Thanksgiving dinner. Even if you could get a sale, don't do it. You may say, but it's so many people. Then connect with all of them and set up something later. Just trust me on this. Don't do it. Okay. Now y'all can do what you want. Okay. You can do what you want. And I know you're going to anyway. I'm just saying, for me personally, remember, it takes a series of exposures to get someone in our business. On average, 3 to 7 exposures to get someone in. If you walk into Thanksgiving dinner and you've got 30 people, and then you just turn it into a presentation for your company, you may say, oh, I got some sales, but it was still going to take a series of exposures. So because you're the first exposure, many of them need more exposures. So it's better if the first exposure is for you to just be awesome, to be wonderful. Because remember, people don't join opportunities, they join people. They join us. They're not joining your company, they're joining you. And so you just want to be amazing and awesome. So they go, oh, she's just so amazing. Wow, he is such a great guy. Then you ask, can we connect? Then you do another exposure. You talk to them on the phone. Maybe you meet for coffee. Then you give them a tool. Then you give them a video. Then you send them samples. Then you sit down with them. But it is going to be a series of exposures. Now, yes, you can compress time frames. You can do a lot of exposures in a small amount of time. I just don't think it's in the 3 or 4 hours that you're at Thanksgiving dinner, okay? So I would just relax. Just relax, because we're not there to close people at Thanksgiving. We are there to celebrate, be thankful, and to show people that we are thankful that they're in our lives. And I'm telling you, from there, you will have so many numbers, you will be able to connect with so many people that it will turn into so much business for you in December and January, February. And who cares if it takes 2016 for you to get that person? As long as the relationship's right, they will love you, and when they join, they'll work with you. And I will tell you, my younger sister, it took me 2 years to get my younger sister to join my team. She got my service, but it took 2 years. And finally, I think I just wore her down. She just got sick of me. But I introduced her to someone else, my upline support, who was a lot more attractive in doing the business than I was. And so I backed away and let her see him. And that's when she decided to join the team. And then I was unattractive again, like she told you. I was like, let's get, show me your people. Let me introduce you to my friends. And if I had been a more attractive leader, she would have been happier to follow me. And so I know for a fact my being unattractive is the reason why my sister joined, made some good money, furnished her home part-time with the business, but didn't stick around. And I just want you to understand, even though I was talking about being attractive in prospecting and getting people to take a look at your company at these situations that we're in, it also, you have to be attractive in once they join your team as well. So in wrapping up, I'm going to give you guys some tips on being attractive once people join your team, because it's not just about getting them in, it's about keeping them in. So some things about being attractive. Number one, manage their expectations. Manage their expectations. Don't make them think they're going to make $10,000 in the first day. All right? Don't lie. Manage their expectations. Be realistic, even though you're being positive. Look, you can tell someone, look, you can make great money here, but you have to make sure your activity is congruent with your goals. So if you want a lot, we got to do a lot of activity. Just manage the expectations. And the second thing, to be honest. Be honest. That is being attractive. Be honest. It is so unattractive for us as network marketers when we lie or embellish or sugarcoat. Be honest. Okay. 3, have integrity. And integrity is doing what you said you would do. All right. So integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. So basically, when you have a new person that you're getting started or you're working with your team, if you said you were going to be on a call, be on the call. If you said you were going to call them back, call them back. If you said you were going to do their first appointment or their first home party or whatever it is you do in your company, do that. Have integrity, because if they can't trust you, they won't trust anyone, and they won't lead you to anyone as well. So be honest, have integrity, all right? Next thing to being attractive is to work with them. Don't just tell them a few things, coach them for a day or two, and then send them out. Actually be there and work with them. Just like we're working on building relationships with people before they get in the business, we are building relationships after they get in the business. I can tell you, even though I messed up a lot, some of my best relationships are from people who joined my team. Some of my best friends today are people who joined my team, and our relationship got stronger as we worked together in this business. So I just want you guys to know, you've got to listen to them and you've got to work on the relationship. The next thing on being attractive to people as you're leading them is something my sister said, is to walk the walk, don't just talk the talk. If you're telling them to do activity, you do activity. And if you're telling them to do personal development and be a better person or a better leader, then make sure you're doing that too. I don't know if you remember, but she said that I talked so much about personal development that I could see the issue in everybody else, but I couldn't see it in myself. And that is the truth. And we do that a lot. In network marketing, we will see a quote or read something and be like, so-and-so knows she need to hear this. Ooh, I wish he was on this. And instead of thinking about that person, we should think about ourselves. And then we'll post and we'll quote it and we'll train on it, but we haven't lived it ourselves. That's why I always say, learn it, love it, and live it. Because I learned it 15 years ago. I loved it, but it took me quite a while to live it and be the physical embodiment of what I was talking about. And when I did that, that's when more people wanted to join my team, wanted to partner with me, and just wanted to be around me. So to be a more attractive leader, you've got to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Before you teach anyone anything you learn personal development wise or activity wise or anything, you do it first. Let them see it in you, and then they'll want to model you. And then finally, stick with it. One thing I feel so badly when I hear people in our profession and they say that their upline quit or their upline's not working anymore. Their upline just said it's no good. Stick and stay, you'll get your pay. Be here a year from now, be here another year from now, but I will tell you, if you're going to introduce someone and you want to be attracted to them, you got to be the same enthusiastic, passionate person you were when you introduced them. So stick with it. Stick with it. So, there's a lot that I could talk about on being attractive, but hopefully when it comes to getting people in your business and keeping people in your business, I hope this helps you. And I want you to understand that one thing we have to do in our profession to raise the level and the standard of our profession is we must become more attractive so the world will be more attracted to us. And I can tell you from personal experience, when you are an attractive person, and not just on the outside, but on the inside, everybody wants to know what you do. When you have a great smile, ding. When you listen, when you speak to their need and you serve and you care for others, not worrying about how much you're going to get paid, not worrying about when they're going to sign up with you, not worrying about if they're going to tell you how great you are or not. Because that's another thing is leaders, tone down the ego, you'll be more attractive. But when you don't worry about any of those things and you just are good and you radiate light, people want to know who you are. People want to know who you are. And so they want to know what you're doing and they want to be around you. So listen, look the part, respect others and serve others. I've heard it many, many years ago that a candle never loses its light by lighting another candle. And I can tell you during this holiday season and beyond, if you focus on giving and serving more and others more, just even if it's just giving them your energy and your attention, if you serve others more, you're willing to light their candle, your candle will turn into a torch. And your torch can lead to a bonfire and the rest of your world will be ablaze with the greatness and the success that you will have because you started with others and not just yourself. So I hope this first webinar helps. I'm going to be doing another one in about 3 weeks, and it's going to be about telling your story to significant success. I'm going to tell you how I was able to use my story and to use my storytelling ability and my speaking ability to earn a multiple 7-figure income. So stay tuned. That's coming up in December. And the reason why I'm doing it in December is so we can get it down pat, so we can start making that money when January 1 hits. I am excited. I hope you guys are. I hope this helped you. Thank you for being on. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Thanks for welcoming my sister. Thank you, Talitha, for sharing your insights and your wisdom with us. And you know what? I'm saying thankful because it's the Thanksgiving season. I'm thankful every day, but I am so giving thanks for the fact that we are starting new relationships with each other. We're going to do amazing things for our families, for our teams, for this profession, and for the world from now going into 2016. So thank you, partners, and I look forward to seeing you. And remember, with any video that I do, I want you to learn it, I want you to love it, and I want you to live it because the whole world definitely needs it. Talk to you soon, and happy holidays.